right. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I just want to quickly update what I kind of cover on the PP show. I think maybe some people might have missed today, so just want to do a quick update on GME, what's going on with GME, and also DJT. I've been kind of mentioning about DJT because something's gonna to pop, but very interestingly, as I post this one today, before the even the news release came out, so this was my post. I wanted to kind of bring this one. I'll just bring this one here. So I post this one today about 2 p.m. That don't be surprised, DJT might pop tomorrow. I say 8 a.m. but the fractal has been a little bit stretched out, but it's gonna still happen tomorrow. I think it's gonna not I think, but it's gonna happen tomorrow. But it should be maybe somewhere between like 2 p.m. 12 p.m. But yeah, it's still gonna happen tomorrow. But we're gonna see a pop. I'm expecting a sharp, very fast pop tomorrow. Up to like $28-29 level. It could even more. I don't know, but you're gonna see a pop like more than a 10%. I think that will be the cause triggered by Epstein list, and this one just came out just now. So Tmrw crypto, he said, what's the correlation of DJT and Epstein list? And then I say start from here. So let me bring the fractals of the DJT thing here. So before that, BRICS news 2 hours, Epstein list is going to happen tomorrow. Very interesting how this thing line up, as the fractals also line up perfectly as I'm seeing pop tomorrow. So and then people might wonder what's the correlation between DJT, Donald Trump stock, with the Epstein list. As you know, you gotta, when you look at the bigger picture, Epstein was the hedge fund, right? So he's a hedge fund manager. I don't know which bank was it. Was it Goldman Sachs? I have no idea. But anyway, he was a hedge fund manager. And then you guys know all the back history. So what's the correlation here? So new FBI directors, Kash Patel, he's recently became the officially FBI director. So FBI director was holding on to this, right? Holding on to the list, and then he's gonna release that thing, right? Now he's officially became the the FBI director of FBI. So he's gonna release the thing, the list, and that will cause the market some sort of a, I mean, not like crash, but I mean, it could happen. I'm expecting a crash in March as well, but not yet. But yeah, you're gonna see a big disruption, throughout like maybe the finance, or I think something's gonna happen. Like it's gonna blow up. Like, oh shit! Like there's a politician, maybe there's some celebrity that I don't know. We have no idea what's gonna reveal tomorrow. But I think it's gonna somehow disturb the market, right? And then interesting enough, Timmy, you asked a very good question. What's the correlation? And I said start from here. So he's the CEO of DJT, Devin.
Wow,
and
this
then
looks
he
like
said he finds something. He talks about naked shorting. That's the most important thing, right?
It's something that shouldn't happen in this country. I mean, you shouldn't be if you're on this reg show list. If there's an irreg, it's a little out of whack for 1 or 2 or 3 days, but then if the system works properly, everything should be cleaned out quickly. But I think the problem is.
So the problem is bigger here. So he kind of pointing out there's a problem in the Wall Street. There's a problem in the market, U.S. financial market. And I like the fact that he kind of pointing out, because he mentioning about the naked short sellers.
Bigger.
And which is also connected to a GME, connect to the AMC, whole basket stocks. And then I like the fact that he kind of pointing it out, right? And I did mention that there's several ways of force the naked short sellers to cover their short positions, which is there's a few other options, but when you take a look at number 3, take legal actions. So that number 3 is basically like like let's say bring the FBI and then charge them or something, and that will create some sort of a a squeeze, and there's a bunch of other things, but I'm just staying for DJT, right? So DJT could take a legal action here,
and
right?
and maybe they got so greedy at targeting us.
And he's mentioning back, he said they are short seller, right? They're the naked short sellers. It could be market maker, I don't know, but he's saying somebody is very greedy here, targeting them, right? DJT.
That maybe, just maybe, we don't know, but maybe we're going to expose something that's going to be bigger than what most of us imagined.
So he said they're going to reveal something that most of us that, didn't imagine. So they know something. Something is brewing up here. And this was, this thing was released, I think, last year, end of last year. And yeah, so I think the Kash Patel is now the on board as a director of FBI. And what's next? Epstein list. There you go. That's a big list. Boom. They'll start first. What's next? Is go on, just step by step. But I think the DJT will pop tomorrow, but I don't think it's gonna run into a squeeze. It will come back down, unfortunately, right? So it will be very short-lived. But the final squeeze phase will most likely will happen by end of March, not March. Starting end of March or April. So I'll be looking into that because this is the final step that I'm seeing here, right? So there's a pullback, do this kind of stuff, sharp pullback, which what happened recently, and there's gonna be a big jump, and which what happened I'm expecting tomorrow. And then there's going to be a pullback by end of March. So they're going to drag it out one more month before heading to a gap up squeeze. And then I'm expecting in April, I have no idea yet, but I do believe that it's going as based on the fractals, right? Whatever the market makers, whatever who's creating long forces, short forces, whoever doing this kind of creating this whole fractal, I think they're doing this for a reason, and they're pointing out. I'm looking this as I'm looking at GME start the rally first, which is gonna happen tomorrow, which is kind of maybe the same time DJT will pop, GME pop, but GME start rally. DJT will have a pullback, which is like a fake pop, but I mean not fake pop, but I'm saying maybe a short lived, and then but they're gonna repeat one more time, just one more pullback, and after that maybe DJT run after that. So DJT will have I'm not saying this is gonna pop this big, but what I'm saying is it's gonna have some sort of a big pop, right? So I'm expecting a pop tomorrow, short-lived, but after that there's gonna be a pullback. So I would encourage to play this kind of options or something. I mean, it's very very risky, but that's kind of what I'm expecting. But I'm still looking into DJT, and then by end of March, and then when I see all this thing play out, then I'm gonna build some option into this. I mean, something's gonna happen in April here, April, and then after that May. So it's gonna heading to April and May. So and I think something's gonna happen between that time. And then let's watch out the news. Let's watch it what Donald Trump, and then what you're gonna release the news in regards to DJT stuff. So yeah, that's DJT. Let's jump into GME. So I was on the show, PP show. I'm pretty sure some people kind of joined there, but I wanted to kind of recap what I talk about. So as I mentioned before, GameStop did a nice small run there and then pull back, right? And people might wonder what this is about, right? And then people are like, oh, is this really rally is gonna happen? Yeah, I mean, you gotta look at the bigger picture. So I brought the fractals here. So let me pull out the so this was my last post on February 20th, and it completed the third waves, 1, 2, 3, and now we are end of it, right? And there was a little bit more pullback, but it's still playing out nicely here. So I'm gonna show you in a bit here. So I just made a post so that you guys can see it better while I'm talking about this one. So this is kind of like zoomed in version, right? Because this is more like a bigger picture, right? So this helps you to kind of look at, okay, what's gonna play out, right? Looking at a bigger picture. Now you look at a tighter version where you see whole what's gonna play out. So as I mentioned, there's a third wave. I wanted to see the confirmation, and then which what happened nicely. And yes, they did fill the gap here at $20 something level, right? $24 level. So they filled the gap, and now they're ready to move, right? So you see there's a let me just draw with a crayon here. So you see how I mean, some fractals, slightly stretched out, but this is a last April May run, right? So last April May fractals, and it kind of fit in perfectly. So from here, this is here. So there's a sharp pullback, which what happened there, and then there's a pop here, pullback, pop, pullback. All this thing happened nicely, right? Hit the bottom, first pop, the second pop, second pop here, and then I was waiting for the third pop, which what happened here. That was third. There was a pullback, right? And then the pullback was very a little bit more severe, but still it's in line with the fractals. So I brought the fractal slightly below here because that's what it seems like. So yeah, anyway, so if you put a fractals here, then I was expecting push up a little bit, which what happened today, and then go slightly sideways, right? Go up and then tilt it, and then let me just actually show you guys slightly close up version here. So yeah, so this is the fractals I have. So I'm gonna just brighten it up a little bit so that you guys can see it better. So this is exactly the fractals I was looking at. It perfectly matched, and this is first pop after hit the bottom, the second pop, and the final pullback, right? So if you kind of bring this up, bring down here, then what you see here is going to the sideways a little bit, right? So going to the side, it goes up and slightly pull back, which what happened today, and I was expecting that, and then and then when that happened, I was like, okay, there you go, you know what I mean? And what's gonna happen tomorrow is it's gonna go up slightly, slightly moving up, and then from probably between 12 p.m. or 2 p.m. somewhere in the noon or afternoon, we're gonna see a pop here. If that happen, if you see sudden rally tomorrow, then this is tracking April May run, and then this will continue throughout the March, and that's why I mentioned March rally. So March, and we have a earning coming up here, which which date was it? I don't think we have an official announced earning yet, but based on the trading view here, the estimate earning is on 26th, end of March, right? So if this is somehow maybe there end of March, I'm expecting a rally before earning, and I'm expecting a pullback, right? Heading into earning. Okay, so as looking at this more option perspective, I don't think the market maker want to run this thing after the OPEX week, right? The March OPEX, because that's what happened in the last May run, right? The May run happened here before March OPEX, right? And they killed it, right? Because if they go above this thing after March OPEX, then the short squeeze is gonna happen. So I think they wanna delay this. They wanna make it a bigger run. So they continue to delay this thing, and more shorts piled in, and then I think they're creating a bigger run here, and then yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm looking at here. So and then another thing people might wonder, what's the price range? I think that's most people are wondering about what's the target, right, in this March rally. Of course, this is not financial advice, but you saw the last May and June run. So last May run, the peak was the $70, and June was about 60. So in my understanding, we have to, in order to break this the level, we must retest this range, which is $60 to $70. So I'm expecting the March run will be somewhere between 60 to 70 to retest this range. Okay, and then we're gonna have a pullback because they have to retest this before they break this the resistance level here, right? They can't just go above and then just shoot up all time high. You know what I mean? That's not gonna happen fractally, right? So they have to retest this area, which I think is gonna happen March, and they have a pullback, right? And then they're gonna continue sideways and accumulate, and then heading into a giant short squeeze, right? And then that's why I'm expecting possible $500. I don't know, but that's why what's his name, the Greg, he mentioning about 500, and that's kind of what I see there. So I don't know if this will play out like that, but for now I don't want to talk about the June squeeze or July whatever, but I want to just focus on the March for now. So yeah, I'm expecting a possible top maybe before March OPEX. We'll see, but really depending on the speed of algo, and I must have to track when this thing will kick off tomorrow, and then I'll be updating this on X. But yeah, there you go. You see this whole fractals perfectly fit in, and then I'm expecting a nice March run. So yeah, it's been a while to waiting for this kind of whole thing, but yeah, there you go. We're now seeing this one, and then yeah, so that's pretty much it. So there's really nothing much I could update today. I think this is really very cool news that Epstein list is coming out. For AMC folks, I know that AMC pop as well, and I know that someone also said, oh yeah, I think AMC is going to squeeze as well. I did kind of mention this, but I'm not saying what I said is correct. But my analysis is a little bit different than what somebody saw. So let me just actually bring this one here, just to kind of finish my stream tonight. So somebody pointing out that this one. So I don't know this guy. He seems to track some fractals here, and I do think that maybe he brought the it seems like the GME fractals, and then maybe it could play out the way it is, but I personally don't see that way. But I might be wrong, right? I might be wrong. But the GME fractals and AMC fractal is completely different, okay? Because when you look at the GME May run, right? So I actually talked about this I think last stream. So when you bring this GME fractals from the April May run, the same fractals was played out here in April. So when you in 2021 January, okay? So it's the same fractals that you see from 2021 squeeze, right? And that's official. I think that's kind of algo make this kind of fractals here, and that's how GME squeeze form, right? Before squeeze, GME formed this way, and then it repeat the same thing. I don't know how it repeats, but that's what maybe the market makers, that's what the Royal Kitty, the long force is kind of creating this one, right? It's repeating the same fractals, and that you cannot just use these fractals to AMC, because AMC has a very different fractals, because when AMC pop, AMC is gonna pop like a cos, okay? That's why I see. So you cannot use GME fractals to AMC, because AMC fractal is completely different. The AMC fractal, when AMC pop, AMC just shoot up like a like a razor, just like a light, like speed up light, just like shoot up like crazy. That's how AMC works, in my opinion. And when you look at the cost was like that in 2020, right? I think AMC is like cost to me, especially for how AMC is gonna play out. I think it will be more like a cost, right? So the cost, when you go back and look at 2000, how cost moved in 2021, this is 2021. So cost also pop and did a squeeze in 2021 January when GME AMC pop, and then it went up like 2,000-3,000%, right? But when you look at cost, it just shoot up like crazy, right? It just shoot up like 3,000, right? Like that just shoot up like within a few days, right? And that's like AMC, I think. So you cannot really compare to GME fractals because GME is different, AMC is different. So this is my AMC fractals, and I share this with you guys, many times, in my stream. So this, I think, AMC is repeating its own 2020 fractal. So I think I don't believe AMC will play out the way GME runs. So this is 2020 AMC fractals, right? So AMC did this kind of after he hit the bottom, they made this kind of create a double top, right? Double bottom, and then they did some sort of a gap up. But in this phase, AMC up even higher than this fractals, which means that AMC is suppressed. But when AMC squeeze, when GME squeeze, AMC will pop. But it will pop like 10 times, right? Which means that this time GME is not gonna squeeze. This is more like a rally, okay? Because when you go back and look at the GME March rally, this is GME, and when you look at AMC back in April, it didn't squeeze. It just only up this much, maybe 16%. While whereas a GME rally 50%, okay, so that's the difference. So this time GME is not gonna squeeze here, right? This is more like a rally, which what you saw back in here. This is a May 2nd to May 3rd, right? And when you look at what happened May 2nd and May 3rd, yes, AMC did go up, but it's not rally. So that's the problem. So but AMC squeeze May 13 when the GME gap up squeeze, which was here, right? So I'm expecting that AMC have to wait for GME to get into the final phase of a squeeze phase, which is June, okay? So in this rally, AMC I'm expecting AMC is also following that kind of similar the March type of a rally, but it's not really heading into some sort of a giant squeeze phase. And that's something that I think people have to be really careful, because I know people play options here and there. AMC options very cheap, and then but yeah, I'm expecting some sort of a move here, of course, but it's not like a squeeze kind of phase, right? And I'm still I listen to AMC calls, right? AMC the earning calls, and then AMC was very great. The earning, I think they had a positive earning. So yeah, that's good. That's good news. Positive cash flow. 62 million throughout the fourth quarters. Yeah, so AMC is doing pretty good. Okay, compare, when you look at the market is kind of it seems like the the market is kind of bad, but I'm talking about the the whole the spending, right? The market, the consumer spending, all that kind of stuff, right? Because of the current inflation, all that. But anyway, so yeah, I'm expecting more like this. It's tracking 2021 very nicely after the short offerings, pullback, and there was a pop, which what happened here, and one more pullback to fill this gap. But it's not 100% filled yet, right? The $3 between $3 and $2.90, this gap is not 100% filled. They left for a reason, right? So I'm expecting this gap will be filled here in April, right? And I don't know. I don't know yet. If I don't know how. The April, because I listened to Adam Aaron's the earning call yesterday, and then he said there's not going to be a potential dilution. So what would cause AMC crash? And then somebody messaged me yesterday that maybe that will be the cause of the market crash. And I think that's possible because I'm expecting a market crash. I mean, it's already starting. You see Bitcoin dropping, all that stuff, but I'm seeing market crash. Hold on. 1 second, guys. How come there's like a fucking huge gap here? Oh, sorry. This is not a gap. I'm sorry. So I'm expecting a market crash. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's why. March 5th. Okay, so I'm expecting a possible market crash in March. What about April? Okay, so there's a bit of a pullback here too. But yeah, this is just SPY. I'm just kind of having, I'm just tracking some SPY here, but yeah, real market crash will happen here. I know on PP show today, Estrella or something, some guy, he mentioned that there's gonna be a huge market crash. Yeah, that's market crash. And I'm expecting end of the year, between October to December, or next year early January, or until March, there's gonna be a severe market crash, and which what also showing in Tesla. And I think Tesla also had a very sharp pullback. I mean, it was kind of fractally going up and going down nicely, but suddenly a Tesla crashed even more than on this last fractals, right? So I don't know what caused this pullback, but I think it's more likely that yeah, it seems like here or something, but yeah, it's really odd. I think it's still here, but yeah, I don't know, maybe it's playing out faster. Yeah, I gotta really double check with this one, but I think it's here, but it come down even more, like which like here. So I don't know if somebody is liquidating their assets from Tesla, like long positions, and maybe that caused this. But I think it just had a more pullback than expected, so maybe it'll bounce back up, maybe, and I don't know. Tesla will do this kind of weird stuff where like it just go up and down until, it says July or something, September. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of I'm looking at, somewhere in the summer, when GME, AMC, entering the squeeze phase in June, July. And I think that's when BBBY, I think, will come back. Maybe before then, I know some guy on PP show that, the fraud payout, we were kind of waiting for that fraud payout, all this kind of finalizing stuff. We're kind of waiting for that one for almost 3 years. And it sounds like the IRS stuff are kind of changing, the tax stuff. So yeah, something might happen maybe somewhere between April and May. And if that happened, and if the fraud payout comes out maybe around that time, that kind of in line with entering into a June squeeze. So GME, AMC, squeeze, and then after that, my play is SIRI. So I'm gonna bring this one later on, but yeah, I think SIRI is gonna be my next next target after GME, AMC squeeze in June. And I'm gonna move on to SIRI, because SIRI is gonna be the next play. So I think there's a reason why Roaring Kitty kind of tweet about the why are you serious, or why so serious with a tennis player. And I think I'm gonna talk about this when SIRI starting to looking like the way I have it here, and I'm expecting some pullback after this April earning. And then if this plays out the way it is, then I'm gonna start talking about SIRI after June. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But yeah, we'll see, man. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. I think tomorrow is gonna be a real fun day for both GME, DJT. And then yeah, we'll see what kind of people on the list, Epstein list, and I don't know, market will freak out by who's in there. So, all right, have a good night, and I'll see you guys in next update. Thank you.